Well, I'd just like to go back to the maize issue here. Um, we are starting off with small protests, and each time we will build it into a bigger one, and we will keep that going for as long as it takes, and we will keep building and building and building on the amount of people who attends it. We probably will end up having a major rally at it, something like we had up the Shankill Road. Um, I'm glad to see now that there's other people starting to add their criticism to what's going on at the maze. Unfortunately, there's very little political uh, representatives speaking out against what's happening here at the maze. It is left down to the people again who defended the communities, the innocent victims, not only from South Armagh but from other parts of Northern Ireland. People are disgusted with the keeping of the H block, but it's not going to be allowed to stay. But the one thing I want to make clear as well, we're not going to allow the politicians to get out scot-free out of this, because it would suit them for it to be bulldozed. But they're going to have to stand up and be counted as well. The other thing I listen to at the minute is we're not going back to these bad old days. Since when did we ever leave them? We have bombs under policemen's cars, policewomen's cars. A Sinn Féin, or was a Sinn Féin representative, a Republican, wouldn't even criticise an attempt on one of his own family members who had joined the police. It doesn't surprise us. It may surprise some of the people sitting in Bangor or the like of David Ford, our Justice Minister. But people like ourselves understand that hatred has always been there and will always be there. We look at the situation where the shootings, the bombings. Now, I've noticed lately the checkpoints in around the Market Hill area and Tandragee area. But what I can't understand, there's checkpoints for 8 and 9 police officers in them. Like, if the threat's not high, why is there 8 and 9 police officers doing a road check? Surely 3 police officers would be enough to carry out a road check. I've said continually, and if you go back through what we have said, the threat of violence is every bit as bad as the use of violence. You may not have the limbs lying on the road or the dead bodies, although we've already had them, not as many, but you have the fear within the community, and that's what terrorism is all about, is terrorising the community. Well, we're not going to sit back and let that happen. It may be okay for people who are living in safe areas, but I see now that there is no safe areas. Like, they're going into areas like Bangor and into Kilkeel and other places. They're going into places where they haven't been before to the same extent as what they are now. They're targeting individuals for political reasons. They've done the exact same as what the IRA done. Now the IRA tell us Sinn Féin. I see that the Melrose family who were over, and we met with them, and we'd actually took them up to Stormont, and they were here and met a number of the families. They're from Australia, lovely people. The one thing they could not understand is what type of justice had we got in this country. They just could not understand how justice works in this country. And in Stormont they asked that question to an MLA, which, to be fair to him, he tried to answer it, but he just couldn't answer. You can't defend the indefensible. But the next day, the camera crew bounced on Gerry Adams. They had documentation that proves that Gerry Adams was at a senior meeting representing the IRA. Adams got very annoyed, very upset. The press officer was very upset that a camera crew would actually challenge these people and ask them questions that they're not normally asked. Well, whenever I'm speaking to the Australians, I have to say, they take no nonsense. They ask questions that the like of you and me want to ask and want to hear the answers to. They're not afraid of any political fallout. They put the question straight to Gerry Adams, and he hid in a tent for a while till he could gather himself and get his composure back, because he was rattled. It's wonderful what a camera can do if you got the right man on the other end of it. But anyway, to go back to what's going on. The dark old days never left South Armagh, Tyrone, Fermanagh, and indeed parts of Belfast, and certainly up around Londonderry. You know, when are our people going to waken up? When is our politicians going to waken up to the fact that we've been attacked now from within Stormont by the political wing of a terrorist organisation, who some people have the cheek, they actually have the cheek to say that these people have got a mandate. Hitler had a mandate. Did that give him the right to do what he did? I don't think so. Now, people will say to me, you have no mandate, Fraser. My mandate is lying in the graves and the blood lying on the roadsides of South Armagh and the people within this organisation. That's our mandate, is our loved ones who paid the ultimate price so we could have democracy, law and order, not so we could put these scum into government. So I would ask people to consider what is going on. I would ask them to support us on the Maze project, because it can't happen. We would love to see 6,000 jobs brought into Antrim, brought into Lisburn. We'd love to see 6,000 jobs brought in anywhere. But at what price? You always have to ask, at what price? We seem to be paying the price all the time to appease these Republicans. Well, as far as I know, Lisburn used to be a loyal part of Ulster. And if they want to lose that, that's up to them. And if it's going to take people to come down from the border to stand up for what is right, well, so be it. We will come down and we will do what we believe to be right. But I believe there's enough good people in Lisburn to also take a stand and to show that they want no pig in pen. Well, they call it where they starve themselves to death. But it's no better than a pig in pen. Pigs wouldn't roll around the dirt the way they did. But anyway, that's not what the history is going to be writ about Ulster. The history is going to be about the true men and women who defended the country against a bunch of thugs who snaked about in the middle of the night and murdered women, children and unarmed civilians. That's what it's going to tell.